Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. In this video I just want to show you quickly how I measured my Serpentine belt. As you can see, I've replaced the original bracket that held the power steering pump and the alternator, so I've got two separate brackets, and what I'm trying to do is lower the clearance, the hood clearance, as much as I can. This is an LS, a 5.3 LS out of a Silverado 2005, so it's drive-by-wire. But anyway, so in this video I just want to talk a little bit about the belts. So when you have a belt like this, the part number tells you some of the information. So this first part number is going to be in standard. So this is going to be inches. So this is 89 inches, 0.0. So if this were to say 895, it'd be 89.5 inches. The 5, I'm not real sure exactly what that is, but the 6 is the number of ribs. And then the bottom number is metric. So again, the 6 is going to be for the number of ribs, and then it's 2,260 millimeters. So I'll show you how I came up with the measurement to purchase this one. So the original belt that I had was too long, so I decided I would go ahead and use it. I would sacrifice it to determine the length that I needed. So now that we are here, what we need to do is route the belt the way it's going to need to be once it's on. And since this was coming off of, since this wasn't coming directly off of the engine, you have to figure out which way to route it. Obviously I did that wrong. All right, so we're down, here we go. So down around the crank pulley, up over the water pump. And the reason I decided to route it this way is under the assumption that we want as much contact as possible on the water pump and the crank pulley, and then that also gives us more than 50% coverage on the power steering and more than 50% on the tensioner. So you can probably see what I did here is I marked this at rest, and then when I pull the tensioner down, I was able to move the belt to here. So you can see I made the mark here. Obviously this isn't as tight as it would be. So with that in mind, I took this tape measure. It's both metric and standard. So then I went ahead and measured it. Now this isn't the most scientific way of doing this, but here we are at, I don't know if you can read it, but 2250, 2 or 3 at the bottom end, and 2275-ish. So the belt that I bought is 2260. And I think this also came out to be like 89.5. So we're going to put this belt on together and see if it fits. I may not have done I may have goofed. Well, crud. Well, this one's way too small. So where did I go wrong? Route this different? Put it around like that anyway. Alright, so that's a fail. Alright, as things usually do when you're shooting a YouTube video and you're struggling, shut the cameras off and just fiddle with it and it works. So that's where I'm at. I just rerouted it over here, and then I got it over the power steering pump, got all this where I wanted it, got it over the alternator, which was kind of tight, and I was a little worried that it would be too tight, but I can still loosen the tensioner a fair amount, and then it's holding just like that. So I'm sure there's people on the other side of this camera that know serpentine belts better than I do, and if you don't mind, go to the comments and let me know if this is going to be too tight. It's going to be a while before I fire this thing up anyway, so just curious if somebody out there has the experience that can let me know if this is going to be a problem down the road. But anyway, I just want to show you quickly how I was able to measure this belt. Not saying I did it the right way, but this is the way I did it, and you can see the belt is on. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, put those in the comments section below, and I'd invite you to follow along with this build. It's a pretty interesting build as far as I'm concerned, but thanks again.